Think and Grow Rich does not work. That's exactly what I thought after reading the book, but I was wrong. It's not that it doesn't work, it's incomplete. I went from working in the kitchen 40 hours a week, total scratch, total beginner, to making $20,000 per month from home by just learning one skill. And what I've learned based on the teachings of the book is it doesn't really matter how prepared you are mentally and all the mind work if, number one, you're not in front of the right opportunity, and number two, you don't know how to act on the opportunity. Or in other words, you don't have the right strategy to implement and to actually be successful within the opportunity. So in this video, I'm going to show you what this model, what this skill that changed my life is, and how you can take advantage of it to get to your first 20K per month in less than a year without having to start a traditional online business. But first, we need to understand why starting the traditional online business path, or what most gurus recommend, is deadly wrong, and how the book helps us understand this. Because in the book, one of the principles that it teaches is specialized knowledge. Master one specific type of knowledge, become an expert. But you go online and you see all these people telling you, build a traditional online business, build a personal brand, do a personal brand from scratch with no expertise, no skills, no nothing, just focus on building a personal brand. When they tell you that and you do that, and I know this because I did it for 2 years, what you find is, okay, I'm going to start a traditional online business. And it turns out I just need to be a jack of all trades. I just need to be good at multiple different things, therefore leading me towards the path of a generalist. I was like, where's the simplicity here? I need to know marketing, I need to know sales, I need to know product development, I need to do the product, I need to fulfill on the product. So it's like, where in here can you see a specialized knowledge or like a specific dedicated level of skill into one thing and one thing only? You don't, right? And what happened to me personally is that it took me 2 years to realize, and it took me 2 years because I was very stubborn, I'm going to get this off the ground, until I just got exhausted. I just burned out. And I was at a place where I was like, man, I've tried for 2 years. I'm not able to take this off the ground. Okay, man, what am I doing wrong? And then it hit me. Specialized knowledge. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going the generalist path. So then I started to being more open to opportunities, and I came across high-ticket closing. I didn't even look for it. Like, I just came across because I started to pay more attention to these people that I was just following on Instagram, and I noticed they weren't running their own business. So I was like, what are they doing? Turns out most of them specialized knowledge, experts on one little thing. That's in all they were doing, monetizing that very skill. Most of them were high-ticket closers. And that led me to the biggest opportunity right now for beginners, which is the high income skill market. And the reason why is because we live in the digital gold rush, where everybody wants to build a traditional online business. Everybody wants to build a personal brand and have $1 million personal brand, like a 7-figure, multiple $1 million, right? But what they don't know is that is great. It is amazing if you have an expertise, if you have connection, if you have skills, if you have resources, money to be able to launch that kind of brand. If you're starting from scratch, you don't have the skills, you don't have the money to be able to invest in massive amount of marketing, you don't have the network. It's kind of like wanting to learn how to climb. The first, right after your classes, is I'm going to climb Mount Everest. It doesn't make too much sense, right? Train other mountains first and just develop yourself, and then just go to Mount Everest. Does that make sense? So that's kind of like the conclusion I got to. And I was like, okay, let me just get into this high income skill vehicle. What are the skills? And turns out there's plenty of high income skills that you can learn and you can just make really, really good money. It's all about you knowing yourself, like doing the work of self-awareness and knowing what are your goals, what are your preferences, what are your strengths, and then based on that, picking one high income skill. I'm going to talk to you about, in my opinion, the 3 biggest high income skills right now that are recession proof, constantly in demand. And if you're decently good at this, you're not going to have any problem in monetizing this skill in your first 6 months. The first high income skill that I want to share with you is copywriting. Copywriting right now is massive. You can sell email marketing services. You can do media buying. You can write sales pages or video sales letters, or you can do a combination of both. And you can work just with one client and make 5 figures per month. Why? Very simple. These 3 skills are in the area of business that is the most important one, which is the oxygen of the business. The oxygen of the business is new clients every single day. And the 2 departments that are connected to that is marketing and sales. So these 3 skills are inside of marketing and sales. Copywriting is marketing, is the ability to capture attention and to turn that attention into interest and into desire. So if you like buyer psychology. You want to do a mass influence, like running ads, writing emails, and you don't want to interact with people. You want to do it kind of like behind the screen. Then copywriting can be for you. You have to do the research and really, really analyze yourself. And if everything aligns, one of the best high income skills. The second one is another form of marketing. There are only two ways to generate attention. One is copywriting because it's leveraging direct response marketing. And the second one is personal branding. So the second skill is content creation for high ticket personal brands. Why? Because these personal brands, they need to put content out there. And of course, the best marketing strategy is a blend of direct response and personal branding. Direct response is a marketing angle where you build a message or you build an argument towards a problem that the market is experiencing. And then you position your solution. It's like a marketing argument. It's just like the basics of the basics. But personal branding is not necessarily tied to an argument about a problem. Personal branding is all about connecting with the face of the business. That's why it's personal branding. So personal branding is when you display a content strategy that is all about sharing the mission, sharing the story, sharing the values, and sharing the philosophies and the perspective of the personal brand, and people connect with that. And through that process, people connect with the brand, develop trust towards the brand. And then, honestly, it really doesn't matter how the brand monetizes it. People are going to be already inclined to buy. That's the power of personal branding and the influencers. People connect with them so strong that they just trust them. And if the influencer says, hey, you need to do this or do that, or hey, I recommend you to do this or do that, just because of how powerful personal branding is, people just trust that and people just purchase the program, purchase the course. A lot of people start as editors and then they just go into that direction. And then they become the orchestrator of the marketing department, as it refers to the personal branding type of content. That is one skill that you can learn and you can sell to just one client. And you can start slow with different like content type of services like content management, like brand strategy. You can just literally run their YouTube channels, for example. You can make well over 5 figures, much, much more than you can build a team below you, editors, researchers, packaging, designers, etc. But you are the one that is the strategist, okay? If you love the creative world, content creation for high-ticket personal brands, very, very profitable. And the third skill, the skill that I went with, is high-ticket closing. These first two were in the department of marketing. High-ticket closing is in the department of sales. It's very similar to copywriting. In fact, if you just reduce copywriting to its essence, you are left with high-ticket closing, because copywriting is selling to the masses. High-ticket closing is closing and influencing and leading people one-to-one. And what I love about high-ticket closing is it has nothing to do with selling, because high-ticket closing is the last conversation someone that wants to buy the product of the personal brand is the last conversation they have before they become a client. That's why it's called high-ticket closing. Like, you don't need to sell anything. They're already pre-sold. They're already interested in working with the brand. You just need to close the right client. You filter the good fits from the bad fits. And then for the good fits, you present the solution. You answer the questions. You make sure everything's in alignment. And then you can enroll them. The skill of high-ticket closing is having a process to be able to handle these meetings, because this happens in Zoom meetings or Google meetings. It's like about 45 to an hour long meeting. It's a conversation. You have a process. You're putting them into a process to really do this filtering. If they pass these filters, then you present the offer. There's a process to that. And then you enroll the client. You collect the payment on the call. You onboard the client into the service. And you can sell high-ticket closing services and you can get paid really, really well. I went from $0 to $20,000 per month. If you're in a place where you're like, I love the idea, but I'm too beginner to go straight for high-ticket closing, you can also start as an appointment setter or as a DM setter. There's a ladder to become a high-ticket closer, or you can go straight to high-ticket closing and you can make 5 figures per month. High-ticket closing, very similar to copywriting in terms of like buyer psychology, influence, and whatnot. But the extra thing with high-ticket closing is you need to be a person that you like helping people. You like leading people. You like talking with people. When I was just researching this, one of my thoughts was going with copywriting, but I decided not to go with it. And I decided to go with high-ticket closing because to me, high-ticket closing was and is more simple. With copywriting, you need to be constantly up to date with new platforms, where the attention is going, etc. And that's constantly changing. Human psychology at a high-ticket closing level, at a one-on-one level, and making decisions is not that subject to change. It's always the same. And it's simpler because it's always the same conversation. You are hosting closing calls and it's always the same conversation. It's always the same process. The only thing that changes is the person. These are the 3 most profitable and highest leverage skills. Now, which one is for you? And what are the next steps? What should you do? Very simple. Pick one and just start. Don't wait to figure it out or for everything to be perfect. The biggest mistake you can make is being in this mindset of once I become a really, really good closer or really, really perfect copywriter, I will start offering my services. No. Start. Get to a point where you have a minimum viable level of skill where you know you're confident that you can provide results. And then start working with clients. Start with one. You learn by doing. And you will learn a lot of things with your first client. Then you will go into your second one and your third one, and you will start accumulating real world experience. So just start. Pick one, do your research, do your work to identify which one works best for you. If it's high-ticket closing and you want to know more in this channel, that's what we talk all about, high-ticket closing. But just pick one skill and start implementing, start learning the skill, and then get into market. Hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one.